By creating our mockups, we've created various canvases to showcase our designs. A problem arises, however, when we realise how these canvases need to sit together to create a readable and cohesive image. Scale, layout, and alignment, like with the composition of our piece, will play a large part in how our designs work with each other. Really, this will be down to you and your design, since this will obviously change with each given profession. However, here are some general tips for you if you're struggling to get your designs to sit together on your chosen products. Firstly, let's look at scale and illustrative images or patterns. If you're using a consistent background element or texture on all of your products, try and keep the image size the same on all of your elements if they're around the same scale. I've used an abstract pattern next to demonstrate this more easily. As you can see, without this, the products can appear jarring and at odds with one another. But with a consistent scale, there's a seamlessness between all of our objects which is pleasing to the eye. What I recommend doing is, if you're creating your designs in Illustrator, you can use real-world sizing, since Illustrator can cope with the file size and scale your designs to a reasonable size in Photoshop. If you're on Photoshop, however, or you just want to concentrate on your mockup, then here's a quick trick to translate the same size image across your work and to possibly make something quite seamless. So overlay your pattern or photo on top and place your screens or products on top. To do this, I scale my pattern till it overlaps my objects, and then I copy it the number of times it appears as a product. So there's one swatch for my iPad screen, another for my iPhone, and one for my business card, all of our pattern. Then I copy my smart object, and I clip my pattern to the object one by one like this. As you can see, this shows us what our design would look like if everything had the same scale, and it allows us to play with the scales until we're happy, which is what I've then done. When I'm happy with my scale, I then copy my clipped background to my smart objects. I've jumped ahead to my chosen design now, since that's what we'll be using. Before I go ahead and do this, I feel I should say, although I'm going for a seamless background where you can read it all as part of one image, you can play around to have the same segment repeated on all of your objects. Both seem to work, but I like how the backgrounds seep into one another like this, so I'm going to keep going and show you this way. So I'm going to drag my clip texture onto my smart object. The image of the sea here is itself a smart object, so scaling it is not going to be an issue. Then when I'm happy, I'll delete the screen we clipped it to, and save and exit from my smart object. Then I repeat this for my other screens. And now my background is the same scale throughout, and this is translated into our smart objects. And so now on to logos and text. In contrast, logos are conversely more attractive when scaled in proportion to their items, rather than the bigger picture. This relates to the fact that in real life, your logo and text will need to change between your different products anyway, so the result is more natural to our eyes. In this case, you can play around with your existing layout by placing your logo on top and sizing by eye. Try and keep your proportions the same in regards to spacing. So if your logo is taking up half of your space on your screen, try and have it do the same thing on your other devices, and so on. To do this, I place my logo onto our mockup without entering the smart objects, and I scale it till it fits the screen 100%. Then I right-click and free transform, and using the percentage values here, I'm free to make it 75% of the screen. And I can keep changing this until I'm happy. So when I am happy, I use the same ratio on my iPhone and any other devices which follow the same rules. And once I've decided on a ratio, I can then translate this into my smart objects by using the same technique, or by creating an updated template in Illustrator, which I then place onto my smart object. So finally, try and keep your alignment rules consistent. If your logo is centered onto your digital products, make sure to carry that across, and the same goes for print. And finally, break the rules. Playing around and creating something unique at the end of the day is the most important thing, and your eyes can often be a better guide than any, so experiment.